The strikes in Paris gave them the certainty that they could do it everywhere else. And the voice that we heard on the video just said that we are coming to every single Western country part of this coalition, and we're coming to Washington with our explosives, with our belts, and with our guns.
Does this seem as though that this is more of a call to activate the so-called lone wolves, or is this more of what we saw in Paris, where it was highly organized, you had groups of 3 that went out and carried out these attacks, or maybe it's a mixture of both? It is a mixture of both, Dana. I have been observing and monitoring this for the last 25 years and even more. When they send those messages, they have multiple audiences. The most important, though, is the one that they are indoctrinating. I mean, this video is going to be seen by thousands and thousands of people, first in the land of the caliphate, but also across the world. And second, to those who are, as you call them, lone wolves or a pack of lone wolves in the West and the United States. And third, definitely to individuals and cells and units that are preparing to come into our direction. So it is a multidimensional message. It was a very interesting contrast, what we saw today from French President Francois Hollande. As the president, our president, Barack Obama, was speaking at the G20 summit, Hollande was addressing France's Congress, imploring them to extend the emergency period to last a state of 3 months, and saying that they were going to they were going to respond unmercilessly. And the president, our president, saying, well, basically our strategy is going to remain the same. I'm wondering if the response attack that we saw that was carried out by France, 20 bombs by 10 different jets, how will that be interpreted by a group like ISIS? Is that going to be enough to perhaps give them pause in terms of carrying out further attacks in France? Or is that just maybe not even enough to register with them? There is no enough for the jihadists. This is not going to stop them. They're going to continue to fight. Remember, their ultimate desire is to die in the cause of jihad and of Allah. So if more bombs from the French will come and pound their capital and headquarters, it's actually going to mobilize them further, because the commissaire, the cadre who work on ideology are going to demonstrate by showing these videos or by telling them this is what's happening to us, that we are fighting the biggest fight. And they're going to give them examples from history where the caliphate was facing off with the Byzantines and the Persians and defeated both. I've heard that many, many times in their ideological sessions. And this is going to only encourage them to do further. The only way to deal with ISIS is a ground force on the ground in Syria and Iraq, taking out their headquarters. But more important, and I think this is where our president has not found any solution, a force that would replace them should not be Islamists and jihadists as well. That's the dilemma.